Fake ice can be such a lifesaver when it comes to photographing drinks, but there's a lot of bad looking fake ice out there, and the good stuff can tend to be expensive. But I got a tip from a food stylist about a cost-effective solution that you can make at home, and I want to give it a try. I'm Joni Simon, food photographer and educator, and I am super stoked about this new DIY fake ice solution. So this magical solution for making fake ice is called Encapso K, and I found it on Amazon. It's $38.99 a pint. Before you say that's expensive, wait till you see what I've been paying for fake ice. But its main purpose is for decorative artificial flower displays to look like water. Now, like I said, I do already have some fake ice in the studio. I bought it from Trendgrove Ice. It's beautiful, it's very convincing, but there are two issues that I have with it. For one, it's made of this hard acrylic material, which it is kind of what it is. It can't be reshaped or reformed, it's rigid. Now, they do make a wide variety of sizes. They've got amorphic designs. Each cube is unique and handmade, but you can't cut them down into smaller pieces, which sometimes you want. But then the other problem is it is expensive. So for these 1-inch cubes, they're $40 a piece, where I can make an entire container of Encapso K for the same price, making it just a bit more cost effective. So to make the Encapso K, it is stupid simple. All you have to do is pour the two solutions together and then wait 24 hours. And then after 24 hours, it sets to this really interesting material that's like hard, but you can still cut it into pieces. It's kind of like a really firm gel. And so the first time that I cast the Encapso K, I put it into a deli container because we have lots of those floating around here in the studio. And I figured that way then I'd have one big block that I could cut down into pieces. Now I did end up having to cut the walls of the deli container to release the gel. But then once I had the full block, I was able to cut it down into smaller pieces. And if you want a clean edge, you can literally just tear it apart with your hands, or you can kind of drive a knife down through it to create sort of this jaggedy edge finish. Highly, highly recommend doing this in silicone molds. You do not want to do this with hard plastic molds because you'd have to cut it out. Like, they don't release easily. So you do want to think about the container that you are casting your Encapso K into. Either it needs to be something that you'd be fine destroying or cutting apart, or something that you could bend and easily remove the gel from. You'll see how I do this here in just a moment. Because here in the silicone molds, once the Encapso K had set, it was easy enough for me to kind of pull the edges away from the cubes. You do want to be careful with this, because if you work too quickly, you may end up tearing pieces or breaking pieces or nicking them with the knife, kind of like I did with a couple of these pieces. There is a certain amount of delicacy with these though, but you know, if you nick them or ding them, well, we're just gonna call that character, right? But then it was time to put these to the test, because there are a couple important things that I wanted to make sure that are important to me when it comes to fake ice. So first, I wanted to know, did it float? Because the hard acrylic cubes do not actually float, but real ice does. So I was super duper excited when I found that the Encapso K cubes actually did float in drinks. Floating ice, just in general, looks more convincing, and this makes your life a lot easier when they do naturally float. So then my next test was, does it stain? Because I purchased some fake gel ice from a prop shop about a year or so ago, and it was cool, but then the problem was, if you put it into a colorful drink, it stained. So I put the Encapso K cubes into a drink with food dye for 6 hours, just left them, and I am super happy to report that they didn't stain. They came out clear and colorless, ready to be used again. Which was then another thing that I wanted to know is, can this be reused? Because there are some DIY fake ice solutions out there, but you can use it for one shoot, but after that it starts to disintegrate and degrade. It doesn't look great, but I gotta say, this stuff held up to the end of the shoot, and then I ended up doing 2 more shoots with it, so it has held in over the long haul. Granted, if you push it too hard, or again, you bump it or nick it with a knife, it can tear and crack, so it may damage over time. You do want to be careful with it, but if you're careful with it, it should last for a good number of photo shoots. But then there's the real test. The most important test is, does it look real? And I'll let you be the judge. What do you think? Does it look good? To me, I think it looks great. I think it's super convincing. I don't think anybody'd be the wiser. It's cost effective, easy to use, it floats, you can cut it down, you can cast it in whatever shapes and sizes you want. For me, it's a win. That looks convincing. I'm just super excited about this new DIY ice solution. I'm super curious if you have heard of this before and if you've used it. Would love you to comment below. And if you haven't tried it before and you want to grab some of your own, I do have it linked down the description box below. But thank you as always for stopping by the studio. It was great to see you. You stay out of trouble, and I'll see you soon, okay? Bye.